On this episode of the Junior Wakefield Show, we have NPC competitor Dwayne Snyder. I believe everyone has greatness in them. As a personal trainer, it's my goal to get people to push themselves and to see the greatness in them that I see. And some people have stories so great, so incredible, I felt the need to share them with the world. Join me as I sit down and talk with some of the people who define greatness in our generation. This is the Junior Wakefield Show. I'm Junior Wakefield, and welcome to the Junior Wakefield Show. Today's guest has been a friend of mine for over 21 years. I've had the opportunity to see this young man grow from one aspect to another, and I don't want to give away anything in detail, but when it comes to fitness, this person has taken it from one extreme to the next. And I am happy and honored to have this guest today. I want to welcome my good friend, my buddy, weightlifting partner, Dwayne Snyder. Dwayne, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great, Junior.
How you feel?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Are you nervous?
A little bit. Little. You know, it's first time for everything, though.
That's all right. Now, that's the question. So what's the nervous part? Is it nervous because you're in front of the camera? Is it nervous because you're on YouTube and everything else?
I think the nervousness is that I care about how this is going to go, and so I don't care if we're on YouTube or.
First of all, both of us care about this one because this is going to make or break us.
Yes,
we put
absolutely.
us both on here, and we might as well jump out the window.
Right.
You know, so if it don't go right,
Absolutely.
Well, good. Well,
Absolutely.
welcome. So let's go back. Let's go back to the time that you and I met about 21 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Right. I think I have a picture of where you were and where you're at now.
Okay.
And that's the picture right there, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah, the one on the left for sure.
Not the one on the right.
Not the one on the right.
Not the one on the right.
That was a little.
You don't want to reverse that, right?
No, absolutely
not at all.
not.
So what happened? What happened, Dwayne?
Well, I could, you know, it to paraphrase it, I was coaching my son's football team years ago, and I would run with the kids after practice, and the next morning I would wake up and I had these tingle in my feet. So I would get up and I'd have to sit there for 2 or 3 minutes, and, you know, I was a little overweight. I would say I was almost, after stopped weighing myself at 290, I decided to go to the doctor, and went to the doctor, and he said, hey, you have high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, and you have diabetic symptoms. You're not diabetic yet, but you have symptoms of being diabetic. And so I said, so what, you know, talking to the doctor, hey, what should I do? He basically said, you know, exercise and eat better. And I was like, cool. So how do I do that? And he goes, I'm not a dietitian. And so that kind of sparked my, I guess, to be different. And part of it, my son was young, my daughter was young, and, you know, just understanding my family dynamics. I've seen a lot of heart disease and high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and I didn't want to go down that trail, I guess, if you will. And so I think at that point I made the change in, hey, let me exercise. And so I was scared to go in the gym, and because I was pretty much overweight, I didn't want to be that guy. And so I bought this thing called P90X.
Heard of that one. Heard that one.
Yeah, I bought P90X. You know, I was watching these infomercials, and I was like, man, that's me. I'm gonna look like that guy. And at 290, I was nowhere near, or would think I would be that guy. And so, you know, started exercising. Didn't really understand food. Was my problem, because I was still working at Saltgrass, eating chicken fried steak and cheesecakes on a every other day basis versus, you know. So at that point, man, really, I made a decision in life to make sure I'm around for my kids. You know, that was that was the biggest part of it. And the second part was, man, I was tired of being overweight.
Okay.
You know?
So you go to the doctor. The doctor says one thing. He says, hey, lose weight. He says, eat healthy. He says, get in shape and all this other stuff. I understand that. And most people do understand that. But you flew past all of that. And you decided to go from what some people may consider being overweight to not just healthy, to bodybuilding.
That's a big transformation.
What happened? Because that train just went from one to the next.
Right.
What happened?
So after P90X, I lost probably about 30 pounds. And my wife, they opened a LA Fitness in Rowlett. And my wife started going there, so she got me a membership.
She said, "You're going to do this."
She says, "I'm going to do this." And
okay.
so, at that point, I was still in the learning or trying to understand fitness, and you were never taught. If you played football before, you were taught to work out, but it was no routine. It was just, hey, this is what we're doing today. Go do it. And I was trying to determine, in doing all that, trying to determine the routine for me, because I was restaurant, busy, chasing kids around, running to football practice, cheerleading practice, and whatnot. And so my time was 9:30 at night. I would go at 9:30 and stay till 11:30. But I went at 9:30 because nobody was there and they wouldn't see me.
Yep.
And so, it became a routine. And for me, I got down to about 240. This was about a year of going to the gym and kind of understanding food, but not really. I just ate differently. Didn't eat chicken fried steak. And I ate more salad, more chicken, more, veggies, and got down to about 240. And I was in the gym one day with these kids. I call them kids. They were 19 or 20, and I saw them working out, and just like anybody else, they come up to me while I'm in the gym, and they'll ask a question. So I asked one of these kids a question about his traps, and he goes, "Oh, this is how you do it," and we go through the routine, and then he goes, "Hey, you ought to do a men's physique show." And I was like, "Hey, man, I'm 44. I will never get on a stage and walk across in front of anybody." So I said, what I'll do is come and support you. I'll come and watch one of your shows and kind of cheer you on and see how y'all do. And I said, you know what, better yet, it was two of them, and I said, if one of y'all win, I'll do a show when I'm 45. And I committed at that point. I committed because these kids were young. They looked really good. Went to the show. One got first, one got second. The next week at the gym, they said, okay,
here you go.
Here you go. And so that's when I started trying to understand. I started YouTubing, and I was like, man, I don't know. What did I just commit to? And so once I decided that I was going to do it, I was committed to it. And, I had a coach, had to go through posing coaching. I had to go through the understanding food part, because that's the biggest part of the NPC program. When you're getting into your training, it's how you eat, your training, your routine of what you do every day. And so, man, at 45, I was like, all right. So I signed up for the Phil Heath competition in Arlington. And, man, all I wanted to say is that I walked across the stage and here's my certificate, whatever they give you.
Whatever they give you.
Or just say I participated and say I did it at 45, and that was going to be my last time I ever did it, because it was a battle. It was a 14 to 15 week training, posing, eating, being more disciplined. So that show, my first show, walked across the stage and I got first place.
Incredible. No, so I think you sent me some pictures and so forth about you working out. I mean, not working out, but you at the contest. Wow. Right there, huh?
Yeah, that was a first, and I got a third place in the men's, because I tried to compete down. I didn't want to hang out with the 45-year-olds. So I tried to. It was a challenge at that point for me to say, hey, where am I? And so I competed in the 35-year-old class too, and I ended up getting third in that particular
that's pretty cool.
category. And so this one right here, this was about 2 years ago. This was the Battle of Texas. And that kid next to me, he's 19 years old.
Wait,
and the
he's
kid
19.
to the right, he's 19.
Wait, how old are you again?
I'm and that show right there, I was 47.
You're 47.
Yes, and he was 19, and you know what? He leaned over to me right. We were getting ready to walk out on stage. He goes, "Hey man, how'd you get those abs?" I was like, "Man, I just eating right." And he goes, "Dude, I want to look like you." And so this right here was last September in the heart of Texas, where I kind of filled out more. That first, if you go back to that, I mean, I don't want you to go back to the picture, but I filled out more. It was some coaching. We took some points where I was, you notice my shoulders aren't as round, but when I got to the next show, I learned a lot about the not criticism, but the coaching things that the
coaches look for.
Judges gave me, and I went and worked on it. And
no, that's awesome.
That's kind of how my drive has been. Now I've done 4 years of shows, and this picture right here, I'm gonna tell you, if you could see the TV in the back, it's P90X.
It's a P90X.
That was during COVID.
Oh, really?
That was when I was going to I've been going to the gym for the last 4 or 5 years.
What is this? Hard work pays off?
Yes, absolutely. And I was just didn't have weights, didn't have anything at my house. And so I broke out P90X during COVID.
If I'm not mistaken, on social media, you put out there, does anybody have any extra weights and so
absolutely.
forth?
I did. I did a Facebook post. And a guy named Ron's
post.
in there helped me out. And we met about halfway in Arlington. He lived in Fort Worth. I loaded those things. Actually, I need to give him his stuff back.
Well, the judge back up. What is this? What is this right here?
This right here was the Battle of Texas. I won the overall. So...
Wait,
and
how old are you?
This is 47.
Incredible.
I did 2 shows that year. And so the overall, you get to hang out with all of the cool people. You get the sword. I didn't bring my sword today, but it's at the house. And,
okay. There you go.
And so that was one of my top shows. That's when I said I was going to retire. After I won the overall, I was going to be like, hey, I'm done. I'm good. But since then... we had COVID, and actually was going to do a show in April, the Ronnie Coleman, and I actually was moving up a class from NPC to men's classic. It was training and posing, went through everything, and they canceled the show. So right now, my target or my next show that I'm planning on doing is the not Phil Heath, but Ronnie Coleman, which is November 14th.
So then you're not retired then?
I'm not retired.
You're not retired.
It's a different kind of drive. It's a not prove anything to anybody. Really, it's a challenge of yourself.
Okay.
Commitment, discipline, and understanding kind of your body and how it works.
So now I have a question. So you do the shows, regional director of Saltgrass. You have a family. You just married your daughter off.
Absolutely. That was that was a blessing. I think August 1st. August 1st. She is... I would tell you I'm one of I'm sure it's a lot of proud dads out there, but my daughter has been very special to me. And, obviously that was our pride and joy, not to forget about my son, love him to death. But my daughter was one of those, we didn't do I'll kind of go in short story. We didn't find out the gender. And, at the wedding, one of the pieces or one of my parts in my speech was that I never told anybody that what I wanted, a boy or girl, but deep down in my heart I wanted a girl. Never told anybody.
Oh wow.
But he gave us an angel instead. And so she is what I lived for. That was part of my reasoning to get right and the physical and fitness part of my life. So
now the picture you didn't send was the picture that at the wedding that did you cry?
Yes, I did.
No,
I did. It was a little emotional, man.
I saw that picture.
That was the first look. That was, they had me standing in this room, and they brought me out, told me to turn around, and she's going to come and tap you on the shoulder. And my wife's like, you're going to cry. I go, I'm not going to cry. And everybody was saying you're going to cry. I was like, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
And when she tapped and turned around and looked at me and she smiled, I smiled, and then she started crying. Of course, I had to start crying.
Cry too. You had to cry
But
too.
that was very emotional. She is very special to us.
That's
for
awesome.
Sure, for sure.
So now, what is the biggest obstacle? Is it working out or is it eating?
I would tell you if 90, I would say a lot of people say 80-20. I'm going to tell you it's 90%.
Okay.
The gym is not where you get in shape.
Of course.
It's at the tabletop.
There you go. Ah.
And this is one of my posts. What people think is difficult. What is actually difficult is really food. The food,
Most definitely.
man. I will tell you, when I got into it, it was, I'm sure we're going to talk about this later, but the meal prepping part was how you were going to get there, and you had to eat routinely. And I was like, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have fish, I'm going to have steak, I'm going to have chicken and vegetables and so forth. And so started doing it. First time I did it took me like 6 hours on a Sunday night. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. So the next prep day was Thursday to try to prep for the weekend. And it was one of those, all right, I have to do something different. So I really stopped. And then I had to think about it. Really, I need a protein, a carb, and a fat. So then I had to just kind of keep it simple. So, man, I started just doing chicken, broccoli, jasmine rice.
And that's one of the things you do consistently,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. Once a week, at Sundays and Thursdays are my meal prep days, and I make enough to, those first 4 days and then through the weekend. But it's routine, man. Oatmeal, that's my breakfast. Quick oats and protein, and I mix it together and get after it.
I love the I do oatmeal and peanut butter. That's my
I mix it in there every now and then.
But that's my go-to. So fitness. How is fitness different from when you started to where it is today?
Well, like I said earlier, it was no direction. You didn't have a lot of people would come up to me and go, hey, well, how do you do this? I'm like, well, man, I had to go and learn it myself, so I share it. I try to motivate and share, but I think when from years ago, there was no, I'm sure it was out there, but we didn't have Google and
no.
And what you can find on the internet now compared to 20 years ago.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
Yeah, there was no apps out there that says here, do this and check your calories and all that other stuff.
Yes.
So, Dwayne, who you gonna give a shout out to?
Well, shout out, man. Obviously my family for supporting me. It's not easy. It's not easy, and making meal prep and getting in the kitchen and getting it dirty, and my wife having to clean it. Man, she is most definitely. I want to give her a shout out because she supported me through all of this. And then, the guys that sponsor me through my shows, HG Supply Company, they've done well for me. And then the last one, man, Saltgrass has given me an opportunity to bless a lot of people and share with a lot of people. So I mean, I met you, and it's given me a different vision of how you should live your life on a daily basis.
Oh, that's awesome. So he gave a shout out to Saltgrass. So does that mean you get to eat free at Saltgrass, you get to eat free at Saltgrass, you get to eat free at Saltgrass, and I know Mona's going to take it free on Saltgrass.
Right.
Great job on Saltgrass.
We have some folks that visit us at our Saltgrass rock wall in Greenville today.
Most definitely. Wait, that's another shout out to Greenville.
Yes.
Mona, we're just giving you a shout out, and Hunter and Kelly, and we're giving you guys a shout out. And you also have a high school classmate here, too.
Yes, I do. Adela.
Okay. Adela.
Yes.
Adela.
Yes, thanks for
we just put you
us.
out there,
yeah.
Adela. So, it seems this side of the room over here, we can't show cameras on that side of the room because I think both of our lives would be in trouble. But, thank you guys for everybody, coming out, which is awesome. Yes. What's a good word of advice for anybody who, to close it out, that you'd want to give anybody that's trying to start out, anybody that's struggling with trying to lose weight, anybody that can't to find out what it is that they want to do and they want to try to get healthy? You go in the gym, you don't know where to start.
Right.
What's your word of advice?
I would tell you it's about 4 or 5 words, but I would tell you have to commit to it.
Okay.
You have to be disciplined and be patient.
Okay.
I think the patience part is where we, as people, human beings, we're not patient. The society moves so fast.
Not at all.
And that's what, you can't, and the other part, don't have a vision, but don't over challenge yourself. Because some people see, hey, I want to look like that guy or that girl. And man, we're near that. Let's start with patience and routine and being committed. That's what I would say. That would be what I would challenge anybody to do, because it's hard.
There you go.
It's hard.
Dwayne, what'd you think? What'd you think about the interview?
Man, this has been. We're done.
we're almost.
Man, thinking about it, Junior. Man, I was nervous as all get out. Man, I'm over here just like shaking my legs I feel like we're just talking.
It is.
And we're talking about things that I think me and you have in common. You're a personal trainer. And, people ask me questions. They send me direct messages and ask me questions. And I try to help as much as I can, but I don't charge and you charge. So I need to start charging for my information.
Man, I just killed that one. Forget Dwayne's information. We don't need to know anything. Go ahead, share your email address with them. How they contact you.
To contact me, obviously, you can look me up on my Instagram at DTSnyderGrindFit, or my email is thebodyshoplifestyle@gmail.com.
To the body shop. Now we didn't have that earlier to put out there. Thank goodness, since you don't charge. So boy, you're killing me. You might have to start something.
Take some pointers from you before I leave here today.
There you go. Well, we got another show, which is coming up. So we're moving to another studio. Awesome. Dwayne, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It was an honor.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure. Enjoyed talking to you. I'm glad you took the opportunity to be able to come and hang out today with me. So, which is
Appreciate
awesome.
it, man. Thanks for having me. It's one of those things when I reached out to you and I said, "Hey, man, what's up? When are you gonna have me on your show?" And you said, "Hey, you're next."
Yeah, you didn't know I'm coming that quick though. Yeah. So I got you.
So it was good, man.
One.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, that's awesome. Of course, we thank the staff at Real News. Thank Andrew, our producer. I have to thank Adela. For sitting here and coming out and hanging out with us. Thank Kelly Smith. Also thank Hunter Smith, and thank my partner in crime, Mona Beats. So thank you guys very much. Jeff Curley, Josh, Sarah, Dallas, and the whole Real News PR staff. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching the Junior Wakefield Show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys come and check me out again in a couple of weeks, I think. After I come back from vacation. So I look for the opportunity to come back and meet more inspiring people and like Dwayne. And so thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching the Junior Wakefield Show. This is live, so I can't change it. So sorry about that. Thank you guys. You guys have a wonderful day. All right. Bye.